So welcome to Organizing Content Overview, the course design plan. This video is part of a three-part series that will help you to understand the course design plan and how we use that to organize content when we're developing a course. The links to the next two videos will be provided at the end of this video, so you can look for those there. But let's first talk about the course design plan and what that document is and how it helps us to organize the content in our course. So they can go by lots of different names. First off, blueprints, design plans, design maps, lots of different ways to describe this, but essentially the purpose is to organize your topics, your objectives, and some of the content you're going to be using to teach the course. Organizing that in a systematic way to better give you a blueprint of what it is that you're going to be teaching, what kind of a course you're going to be developing. So it's the course at a glance. It's the big picture. Basically, when you look at the completed course design plan, you're going to see what the whole course sort of looks like in a nutshell. Essentially, the purpose of the course design plan is to align our objectives with our content and our evaluation. So that's always the purpose. We're trying to get our content topics and our objectives, our evaluations, and all those pieces, the readings, the media, whatever you have, organized and aligned so that we're not providing content that isn't relevant, so that our objectives are meeting our evaluations, and that we're really teaching what it is that we set out to teach, and there's not too much or not too little in any one area of our topics. So some basic steps to starting our design plan. We're going to be writing our course objectives, obviously, or our course outcomes. We want to know what the students are going to be able to do by the end of the course. Then we're going to, break that down into actual module objectives or outcomes and say, okay, well, what is it they're going to be able to do by the end of each module? We're going to look at write our content topics. What is it they're going to be learning? What are the topics? Number two, we're going to select our course resources. So we're going to find some material for them to read, to watch, to do, all these different types of things that are going to help them to achieve those outcomes and get to those goals that we set out earlier. And then we're going to construct an evaluation plan, and that evaluation plan is going to go back to the objectives and the outcomes and say, okay, let's really test whether or not our students can achieve those things that we set out for them to achieve based on the resources that we gave them, based on the teaching that we provided. So the processes that we're going to use there are sequencing and chunking. And those are the two processes that we'll see in a little bit more detail in the next two videos later on. But for now, let's have a look at the course design plan itself. So this is a template that we use at the Center for Continuing and Distance Education here at the University of Saskatchewan. And it's a very simple table, and it allows you to start to fill in some of the pieces and reorganize things as you need by copying and pasting and moving things around. And it really gives you a bit of a sense of what your whole course is going to look like, the overview of everything all on one page, and allows you to sort of see that. And this expands quite large once we get all the pieces in there, but it certainly allows for that just being a spreadsheet. So what does this look like when we start to work through it? Well, the first thing we usually do is start sort of somewhere in the middle. So I typically look at the content topics first. Typically, a instructor will have the topics that they want to teach in mind for the course. They know what it is they want to teach, the topics. So then we'll write some learning objectives for each of those topics, and we say, okay, well, what are the topics that sort of go together, and let's create modules out of those. That'll create our module names. We're making learning objectives based on those topics. What is it that you want them to be able to do by the end of this in each topic or in each module? And we sort of start from there. Next, we're going to start adding some of the content. So we're going to start breaking those pieces up and saying, okay, well, these are the topics that we want them to cover. These are the objectives we have for them. And what are the things that are now going to help them to get there? So we're going to add the required readings, perhaps, if there's a textbook or article reprints that you're going to have them go through. We're going to have some media and activities maybe. Perhaps you have PowerPoint presentations. Perhaps you have some video clips or some online activities that they can do, self-tests, case studies, all these kind of things. Are the content or the activities that are going to help them to achieve those objectives. And then, of course, we're going to go to the evaluation plan, and we're going to make sure that that evaluation matches up with our learning objectives as we would do. But as you can see, once you get this sort of flushed out, you really start to see the whole course as a cohesive unit. What does the whole course look like from beginning to end? Is one module too heavy? Is one module too light? Do I need more activities in module 2? Do I have enough readings? Do I have enough content that they're going to be able to achieve those objectives? And are those objectives fair at this level? But again, the design plan just really gives you that sort of overall, overarching view of the course and lets you see everything. So the next 2 videos, we're going to look at the processes of the design plans. And as we mentioned before, that's sequencing and chunking. And those are sort of the processes we're going to go through as we create this design plan in order to get those pieces where they need to be. So sequencing and chunking. So this is the choose your own adventure part of the video. Go ahead and click on either the sequencing title there in the video or on the chunking, whichever you'd like to see first. And at the end of that video, it'll take you to the next one.